Hello and welcome to Glannygore in North Wales for round 6 of the 2011 Lightweight Easykart Championship. Terry Langley comes into this round with a narrow 7-point lead over Joe Patterson, with Elliot Rice a further point behind, making these three drivers the contenders for outright champion. Although with the mathematical possibility that Richard Moxham, Ayrton and Luca Hurst can still win this championship, they might dispute that. Well, after qualifying, it's Jake Hughes using his kart Grand Prix experience at Glannygore to great effect to be 3/10 faster than Patrick Lay on the front row, Jamie Creese, Joe Patterson on the second row, champion Elliot Rice and Ayrton Hurst on the third. Luca Hurst starts 7th, Craig Coles is 8th, Sam Dimolo and Jamie Summer-Hayes round out the top 10, and Terry Langley has only qualified in 18th. And it's Jake Hughes getting the whole shot, and Jamie Creese is on his bumper. Creese side by side with Patrick Lay, slots in behind. Flat out, going uphill to the spoon for the first time. Creese was looking for a way by. And it all funnels down a single file, coming out of the spoon, down to the carousel, and Creese is on the defensive to hold off Patrick Lay. The undulating contours of Glannygore through compression into Druids 1. Feeding straight into Druids 2. Back of the field, Matt Brooks under pressure from Will Lampett. Tony Longstaff trying to go around the outside. Oh, a heavy clash, and that's the end of Matt Brooks's lightweight heat. And Jake Hughes has already got 0.3 of a second on Jamie Creese. Under pressure from Patrick Lay, Joe Patterson just off. Kieran Gordon under pressure from Ben King as they try to go past Grant Hunter. Elliot Rice behind Ayrton Hurst and under pressure from Luca Hurst in what is the battle for 5th place. Three laps down, and Hughes' lead is nearly a second over Jamie Creese, who's pulled half a second on Patrick Lay. Yeomans moving on the bumper of Brad Fairhurst, trying to get that 17th position back, and the pair of them trying to tow up behind Grant Hunter, who slipped back from his start. Langley moving forward, trying to get on the bumper of Ben Yeomans. Fairhurst down the inside of Hunter, who's lost out to Yeomans and Langley, and Tom Gould will be closing up and trying to find a way past as well. Genman looking to the inside of Summer-Hayes over the curb, and they've clashed. Genman spins out and Summer-Hayes has been relegated. He's sliding down behind Grant Hunter. Tom Gould will try and go round the outside of Paddock Bend. Big ask, and it hasn't worked. So Summer-Hayes down to 18th. Looked like Fairhurst was trying to find a way up the inside into Spoon on Sam Massey. Moxham just out of range. It's Kieran Gordon going down the inside of Craig Coles for 9th place. And Terry Langley has picked off Ben Yeomans, but it's taken the thick end of 4 or 5 laps. So Terry Langley up to 15th. And it looks as though Craig Coles is immediately under pressure from Ben King, who's looking to go by into Paddock Bend. Setting them up for club, and the run up to the spoon. Fairhurst looking for a way past Massey, and Patrick Lay has punished a mistake from Jamie Creese. So Patrick Lay up to 2nd. Moxham down the inside of Ben King. It's a lovely move and he's through. Ben King combative, he should have come back on the counter. He's looking down the inside in the carousel, but Moxham's got it covered. King runs wide, and Sam Massey and Brad Fairhurst move on to his bumper. For all its fast corners and long straight, Glannygore I always found was a difficult track to overtake, but it did make the moves when they came off oh so satisfying. The setup is for the spoon over the crest. Sideways on the brakes, and it's Massey down the inside of Ben King this time, but he goes in deep. and King takes it back on the exit, and Brad Furhers is coming down the inside into Carousel. Can he get it done? He's just out of shot, but he's through. Look at the lead that Jake Hughes has got. It's 3 seconds over start finish this time from Patrick Leigh, Jamie Crease, Joe Patterson, Aidan Hurst, Elliot Rice. Craig Cole's now under pressure from Richard Moxham. Sam Dimlow having a lonely race in 7th, and behind him Luca Hurst and Kieran Gordon in 9th, Cole's in 10th. And Ben King has stabilised the situation, is working his way back as Grant Hunter gets that position back from Ben Yeomans, at least for a corner. Coles under pressure from Moxham and Ben King as they round out lap 12. Flat out through Club Corner. And here comes Richard Moxham out of the tow. Side by side going uphill. Craig Coles fights it out, but runs wide, and Moxham's through, and King will go round the outside if he can. In fact, Coles is over the grass, and it's Brad Furhers now trying to tip in over the top of Ben King into Carousel. But King's having nothing of it and stays in 10th place. No way through at Druids 2, and Fairhurst has got to be careful. Sam Massey on his bumper into Paddock Bend. He'll be looking to pick up the tow and set up Brad Fairhurst for the spoon. And Terry Langley is behind him in 15th. Rice once again back to the bumper of Aidan Hurst. Crease looking comfortable in 3rd. Patterson unable to close. I saw Grant Hunter down the inside of Craig Coles. So Cole's good start is beginning to fade. Summer Hayes has gone through as well. So back to 17th for Jamie. No sign of Owen Genman. He's retired to the pits. Elliot Rice looking for a way past Aidan Hurst up to the spoon. And he's through. It's a lovely move from Elliot Rice. Closing stages of the lightweight heat, and everybody's turning the wick up now. Sam Massey passing Brad Furhers. Great dicing in lightweights. Final few corners for Jake Hughes. It's never really been in doubt. His lead at the finish, 2.8 seconds over Patrick Leigh. Jamie Crease will start 3rd, Joe Patterson 4th. On to the pre-final. Can anybody stop Jake Hughes? On the front row with him, Patrick Leigh, Jamie Crease, Joe Patterson on the 2nd row, Elliot Rice, Aidan Hurst on the 3rd, Sam Dimlow, Luca Hurst on the 4th, Kieran Gordon and Richard Moxham starts in 10th place. It's Hughes with the whole shot. Patrick Leigh's task is to get on his bumper and prevent Jamie Crease getting 2nd, and he's done it. And Luca Hurst has been spun out at the back of the field. Up to spoon for the first time. Patrick Leigh looking for a way by, but Jake Hughes has got it covered. Crease covers Joe Patterson. Tom Gould looking to stay on the track. Contact with Michael Naylor as Terry Langley and Owen Genman go round the outside and down to the carousel. Up to compression. It's Jake Hughes, Patrick Leigh, Jamie Crease looking for a way by. Joe Patterson. Aidan Hurst has got ahead of Elliot Rice off the start. Richard Moxham showing well in 7th place. Great start from 10th. Ben King is 8th. Sam Dimlow in 9th. Brad Furhers in 10th. as we begin lap 2 of this 15-lap pre-final. GYG's lead, you can see it, 0.3 of a second. Crease desperate to get back into second place. Ayrton Hurst closing on the bumper of Joe Patterson in 4th. Elliot Rice in 6th. Richard Moxham will be keen to get across. He's towing with him Ben King. Sam Dimolo coming back to them. Rice looking to set up Ayrton Hurst, possibly for the spoon. Desperate to get tight into that slipstream for a run down the Dragon Straight. And it looks as though Terry Langley is lining up Steve Yule for 18th place. Sam Dimolo ducked out of the line there for a look past Ben King. But it's Jamie Summerhayes down the inside of Will Lampett. Summerhayes up to 16th. Lampett looking to counter, but Summerhayes covers him off. So Rice looking to dive up the inside of Druids too, and he's done it. A lovely move from Elliot Rice. But it's Hughes, Lay, Crease, Patterson. Rice ahead of Hurst. Moxham, Ben King. Terry Langley diving down the inside of Steve Yule. It's a great move. It's a little bit desperate. He's run wide on the exit and Yule takes it back. So Steve Yule stays in 18th place. Terry Langley working hard for even places at the back of the field. Sam Massey down the inside of Craig Coles, backing it in on the brakes, and he's through. Massey up to 13th. Matt Brooks now looking for a way by down on the brakes into Carousel, and the job is done. Summerhayes will try and look round the outside, but Coles has got it covered. It's one line into compression, and effectively one line through the twisty section. Unless you make a mistake or leave the door wide open. Ben King had to think about diving through on Richard Moxham into Paddock Bend, and this time it's Genman inside of Yule, and he makes it work. Longstaff takes a peek inside of Club, but he gets slaughtered down the straight. Moxham under pressure from Ben King. Oh, and I saw a hand go up there from Sam Dimolo. Yes, he's broken down yet again. What does Sam Dimolo do to his kart, and what does he have to do to get it to the finish? I see in the background Craig Coles under pressure from Jamie Summerhayes as they stream through Paddock Bend. Coles under pressure there. Coles in the yellow. Summerhayes will lamp it. Gap then to Genman in 18th. Well, GYG hasn't been able to get away from Patrick Lay this time. His lead is just 0.4 of a second. Summerhayes trying to line up Craig Coles for Carousel. He saw Brooks go through here the last lap. That's for 14th. Moxham's made a mistake. Ben King inside at compression. Till Moxham's off the road. Well, it's a difficult place to pass. Where has Moxham slid back on? He's behind Brad Fairhurst. So that's 9th place and under pressure from Grant Hunter. So Hunter trying to get in the slipstream of Richard Moxham as they go uphill to the spoon. Not close enough to strike. So Moxham can settle down and try and work his way back to Brad Fairhurst, and then on to Ben King. Kieran Gordon in 11th, drops a wheel off, clips the curb and he's off the track, and he's going to lose out to Sam Massey. Sloppy piece of driving from Kieran Gordon. Now he's under pressure from Matt Brooks. Into the Devil's Elbow, and Brooks has got a better line down to Paddock. Is he going to dive through? Up the inside into Paddock, yes he is. Tries to give Kieran Gordon a little bit of room and loses out to Jamie Summerhayes. Luca Hurst picks up 20th place from Tom Gould. And who's that off in the background? It's Ayrton Hurst. He's made a mistake going up to spoon. I almost wonder if there's something on the track, as we've seen a few mistakes in the last 3 laps. Now he's trying to hold off Grant Hunter. I saw Richard Moxham trying to put a move in on Brad Fairhurst ahead. Can't get it done though. Brad Fairhurst up to 7th. So we're through half distance. GYG's lead is 1 second over Patrick Leigh, Jamie Crease, Joe Patterson in 4th, Elliot Rice in 5th, Ben King up to 6th, Fairhurst 7th, Moxham, Ayrtonhurst, Grant Hunter rounds out the top 10. Summer Hayes, a lovely move inside, and Matt Brooks to go to 12th. And Kieran Gordon is trying to work his way back to Matt Brooks. Nine laps down. And Fairhurst under pressure. Richard Moxham. Ayrtonhurst trying to repair the damage of his mistake. He's in the tow. He'll be looking to go up the inside into the spoon. Moxham down the inside of Brad Fairhurst. Lovely move. And a little bit unexpected. So Moxham up to 7th. And Ayrtonhurst is looking for a way by. And here he comes down the inside of Druids too. And it looked as though Jamie Summer-Hayes has worked his way up to Sam Massey. He's picking up the tow. Just got to time it right for a dive up the inside, and Hurst is through. And I can't see Jamie Summer-Hayes behind Sam Massey. I think he's gone off at the spoon. Well, for GYG's, everything's looking rosy. It's a 1 second lead over Patrick Leigh, who in turn's got the best part of 2 seconds over Jamie Crease. Joe Patterson has pulled out a couple of kart lengths on Elliot Rice. Ben King is heading for 6th on the grid for the final. Ayrtonhurst clear of Richard Moxham. Moxham still under pressure from Brad Fairhurst and Grant Hunter, and it's Kieran Gordon recovering a position from Matt Brooks. And that's the outside of row 6 for the main final. No way round the outside for Matt Brooks at the carousel. And this is effectively one line. So starting the final lap, GYG's is heading for pole position. Patrick Leigh will join him on the front row. Will it be Joe Patterson or Elliot Rice joining Jamie Crease on the second row? We shall see. Is Matt Brooks finished with 12th place just yet? In the tow. Well, he's dropped a kart length through the right-hander. Not close enough for the spoon, unless Kieran Gordon runs wide. And it's easy to do. Just a few corners from the finish. Joe Patterson is going to hold off Elliot Rice. GYG's in great form will start in pole position for the final. On to the main final. Who can stop GYG's? He's had the best part of 3/10 of a second in his pocket all day. Patrick Leigh starts on the front row with him. Jamie Crease, Joe Patterson on the second row. Elliot Rice, Ben King on the third. Ayrtonhurst and Richard Moxham on the fourth. Brad Fairhurst and Grant Hunter round out the top 10. Hughes brings them through Paddock Bend. And we're racing at Glanigor in the final. Patrick Leigh trying to go around the outside. It won't work. Will that open it up for Jamie Crease up the inside? The kink helps GYG's take control at the front of the race. So it's Jamie Crease in position to take a shot at spoon, but Hughes has got it covered. Down to the carousel. Patterson has lost out to Elliot Rice in the spoon. Hurst up to 6th. Luca Hurst trying to go round the outside of Grant Hunter and Sam Massey. As it begins to filter down to single file into compression. Heavy contact. Steve Ewell has been spat out the side of the pack. End of lap 1, and it's Hughes from Crease, Lay, Rice, Patterson. Ben King up the inside of Eddon Hurst, and he's through to 6th place. And Luca Hurst has repeated the trick on Grant Hunter to go 10th. Elliot Rice moving on to the bumper of Patrick Lay, going up to the spoon, but not close enough this time. Lay on the defensive down to carousel. Rice will use the opportunity to close in through compression to set him up once again for Paddock, Club, and up to spoon, I'm sure. Dimolo looking for a way past Will Lampett. Matt Brooks and Kieran Gordon fighting it out outside the top 10. Down in the low teens. Lampett goes through on Kieran Gordon. Rice not close enough to Patrick Lay going into spoon, and they've all closed up on Jamie Crease. Genman down the inside of Will Lampett at spoon, and Dimolo will go around the outside. So Sam Dimolo making ground from his mechanical problem. Oh, and Tony Longstaff's been turned round. Michael Naylor and Craig Coles have gone off in sympathy. The leaders rounding out lap 3. Hughes under pressure this time from Jamie Crease, but still in control. Sam Dimolo pushing hard and on to Owen Genman. Here comes Dimolo down the inside of Genman, forcing it through. And through to 15th place, and Jamie Summerhayes goes round the outside to take 16th. Will Lampett looking down the inside into carousel, can't get it done. Who'll be in the slipstream going into spoon? This time it's Patrick Lay inside of Jamie Crease for 2nd, and Elliot Rice is right on him going down the carousel. Crease tries to make it narrow and holds him off. So Rice is the best placed of the championship contenders. Joe Patterson right behind him. They'd be level on points if it finished right now. Terry Langley, I can tell you, has pulled off the track. He's packing up and going home. This will be a drop score for him. Rice trying to urge his cart on. Wants to overhaul Jamie Crease, and he's right in the zone. Perhaps a little bit too close. No, he's up the inside. Something wrong with Jamie Crease's engine. A lot of strain put on the carts there at full throttle. You can see the disappointment. Jamie Crease has broken down. A chance of a good result gone. Patterson needs to stay ahead. Remember, there's a championship on the line for him. So we've effectively got a 4-way dice here. A 5-way dice with Luke Hurst joining in for 4th place behind Joe Patterson. King looking to close. Hurst closing on Richard Moxham. So battle on for 4th, a battle on for 7th. Hurst looking to the inside in the spoon. Lovely clean move from Luca Hurst. Brad Fairhurst stays in 9th. There's a gap to Sam Massey in 10th. Down behind the Nassau panel. Does that help? I'm never really sure. It's Kieran Gordon looking for 13th place. Well, there's your answer. He's through at the spoon on the brakes, giving Matt Brooks some room, and Jamie Summerhayes will go around the outside. And a nice tyre-shaped black mark on the side of his side pod. Matt Brooks' car looking a bit battle damaged. A few dueling scars from earlier on, and Summerhayes is down the inside into Druids too. Brooks takes it back. Great racing, giving each other room. It's hard but fair in Easykart. Genman moving onto the bumper of Jamie Summer-Hayes. Summer-Hayes in the toe. Will he strike at the spoon this time? Move on for 14th. Oh, clean through and done cleanly and early. Sam Massey under pressure from Grant Hunter in a fight for 10th place. Sam Dimlow's caught up with him as well. Dimlow down the inside into paddock. Lovely move from Sam Dimlow. When his kart's running right, he can really get on it. Grant Hunter though, responding, trying to find a way past in the right-hander, and he's coming through at spoon. Great racing in Easykart. You can never tire of saying that. Lightweight's probably the pick of the bunch of the championships. Sure to go to the last round of the season. So work to do once again for Dimlow. Looking for a way past Grant Hunter for 11th. Kieran Gordon, 13th. Summer-Hayes in 14th. Well, it won't be long before Sam Dimlow's going to strike. Aiton Hurst is closer than ever. Over the grass and up the inside. Well, technically you're supposed to overtake between the two white lines at the edge of the track, but we don't care. Sam Dimlow trying to find a way past Hunter, and he's put him on the grass on the exit of the spoon. So Sam Dimlow up to 11th. Kieran Gordon moves to 12th. Well, Ben King now lines up Joe Patterson for what is 5th place. And I don't think Joe Patterson is quite finished with 4th just yet. Aiton Hurst is going to have to work hard, and Luke Hurst is coming across. Moxham's not out of this battle. Matt Brooks trying to find a way past Grant Hunter in a paddock bend. Joe Patterson can't afford to give up another position to Ben King or Luca Hurst, and I think Aiton Hurst made a mistake. Patterson moved back to his bumper on the exit. Elliot Rice still looking for 2nd place. So Jake Hughes looking comfortable up front. No such luck for Patrick Leigh, who gets a love tap from Elliot Rice. Rice looking for a way by. The kink was in the way, the right hand is in the way. Will he strike up the inside into spoon? Patrick Leigh has it covered. It's the obvious spot, and Ben King has made a mistake, lost out to Luca Hurst, and is under pressure from Richard Moxham. So Rice looking down the inside of Druids too. He leans in and on. Patrick Leigh, more love taps. You can see the mess Elliot Rice's front bumper is. That's rubber from Patrick Leigh, and he won't be happy. I'm surprised we haven't seen the driver standards warning board out just yet. Elliot Rice in the toe and looking to strike up to spoon. Is he coming? Yes, he is, and he's through, and that is a good move. No complaints about that one. Patrick Leigh not close enough to strike into carousel. So Elliot Rice moves into 2nd place and leads the championship if it finished right now. Three laps for the finish. Jake Hughes' lead is over 2 seconds. Luca Hurst diving through on Joe Patterson. Opportunist move, can he make it stick? Yes, he can in the club. And Patterson is a sitting target for Ben King. Well, he's managed to regain his composure, got his momentum back, and manages to hold off Ben King. He really can't afford to give up any more positions. This is 6th, with Elliot Rice in 2nd. The only saving grace is that Terry Langley has retired. King looking for a way by. He's got nothing to lose. Richard Moxham closing in 8th. Bradford still 9th. Sam Massey running in 10th. 2 laps from the finish. Jake Hughes in imperious form up front. His lead getting towards 3 seconds ahead of Elliot Rice and Patrick Lay. Aiton Hurst heading for 4th. Patterson hanging on to 6th behind Luca Hurst. Ben King and Richard Moxham looking to strike. Matt Brooks inside of Grant Hunter. And on the switchback, Grant Hunter will try and get the position back down at the carousel. Elliot Rice now on the defensive. He was wide through Druids 1 and covered a move off into Druids 2. Final lap board is out for Jake Hughes. Look at the lead that he's got. He's heading for victory. It'll be a maiden win in Easykart lightweights. Joe Patterson is trying to hang on to 6th place. Matt Brooks runs in 14th. Patterson, this is the crucial corner to hang on to. Ben King rubbing his nose along his bumper. And Richard Moxham's looking down the inside of carousel. King covers it off. No problems for Jake Hughes. Elliot Rice will lead the championship tonight, finishing in 2nd. Patrick Lay will finish 3rd. Jake Hughes wins at Glenny Gore.
The podium is as follows. 124 points then going to our driver starting on grid 2 to finish 3rd today. Driver number 2, Patrick Lay. Personal runner-up spot there. Drove very well, I must say, starting 5th on the grid to take the runner-up spot on the podium. Our reigning champion in this class. Well done indeed. Driver number 1, Elliot Rice. To our winner then, final presentation then is the top spot for the senior lightweight class. I mean, any one of, I'd say, a dozen drivers in this class this year can take a race win. So I know he likes this track, but I'll tell you what, there was no touching him today. He's led all the way, nobody's overtaken him. It gives me great pleasure. He's also our nominated driver of the day because it was just a truly professional, outstanding performance. Started pole, finished 1st today. Our winner for round 6 here at Glenny Gores, driver number 55, Jake Hughes. Yeah! Well done, there you go, your senior lightweight, top 3 everybody. And I'm going to put in Elliot Rice.